add my welcomes to all the welcomes that have come, and also my thanks to the RSC Northern Ireland, who've done a fantastic job putting this day together for us. I'm just going to give a quick overview on two things, really. A little bit about what the JISC is about, because I know not everybody fully understands what the JISC does and what it's for, and a little bit about what we're hoping to get from the day, and then I leave it to the other speakers to maybe set the agenda a little more clearly. Oh, there we go. These are some key statements from our current strategy, which is about our 5th strategy in a row. I think the key thing to say about the JISC is that JISC uses information and communications technology as an agent for change in education and research. And I think you'll hear change as a word that's going to be coming through quite regularly today. And I think JISC is about providing the infrastructure and stimulating innovation in the use of ICT in colleges and in universities, in education, in research, and particularly what we're concentrating today, I think, is about the interaction between the business community and the colleges. So this is what the JISC is about. If we look at our key priority investment areas, you'll see that infrastructure is up there at the top. I think infrastructure is an interesting issue at the moment because we're seeing one of those generational changes that happens every 20 or 30 years in the way that computer services are provided. And we're going from a situation where institutions procure their own hardware and software, and we were talking about it last night, that FE colleges think they've got it sorted if they've got their hardware and their software right. We're moving to a paradigm, and you've probably heard this overhyped term, the cloud, where for the future, I think institutions are going to be buying services and resources from suppliers out there on the internet and the web. So having your own hardware, your own software, it's so 2000. We're moving to this new paradigm, and I think that's something we've got to remember as well. And we have these other areas where we're inspiring innovation, helping institutions to actually share the risk of experimenting with new technologies and with using new technologies in new ways. I think that's one of the key things that the JISC does. It's your partner in sharing risk when you want to try new things. And when you try new things, we want everyone to know about what's been a success and so on, so we don't want everybody repeating the thing. And we provide the infrastructure because that's what we can do cheaper as a community, as a UK-wide body, than institutions can do themselves. So I think as we see the way that infrastructure is provided changing, we'll see that paradigm changing as well. And this is probably, as the Minister was pointing out, an historical document in 6 months' time. I'm not sure what that bottom number will be at all. And I think one of the other things about today is that we're looking at opportunities for colleges to work better with industry and with business. If that total shrinks substantially as it does, we really need your assistance here today to tell us what the priorities you see are for us investing that money, particularly in developing links with between education and commerce. Now, if we just look at it briefly, essentially you can see that Janet is a very large proportion of our budget, the network. The Minister talked about that, and that's a great success. All this bit around here are the various services and infrastructure that we support. Our collections company, which provides something in the order of £35 of benefit for every pound we invest in it. It's been calculated independently, which is a huge success and a huge bonus for the community. We have our various data centres who provide innovative data and access to that sort of data, and JISC Advance, which includes the contribution that the RSCs make in here. So our regional support centres across the whole of the UK are in there, and as the Minister said, we feel that the RSCs have been a huge success in promoting better use of ICT across the whole FE sector and in HE as well. This is the money we spend on our innovation. This is the money that we give to institutions to try things out and to experiment and to report back on. And what we're doing, which is different to what we've done before in the way of our outreach, is rather than saying we've done 3 of this and 4 of that and 5 of the other, we've been talking with senior management teams in colleges and universities across the country for the last year. And it's clear that there are 5 areas that they feel are really important to them at the moment. One is saving money. How can ICT help them save money? And this is probably, I've said it first because that's the one that comes across strongest. The second one is how can we improve the student journey, the transition from school to college to university, further on into the workforce, the skills retraining, continuing professional development and so on. How can we improve research excellence? The UK has got a huge reputation for its research. We need to keep the UK at that level. Fourthly, how do we create a sustainable model for ICT in universities? The government is pushing the whole of the education sector to get its carbon footprint down, so we need to help institutions to do that. And fifthly and finally, how do we support institutional management to understand the opportunities that ICT offers? And again, this word opportunity comes up, coupled with change. And I think this is what we're looking for today. What are the opportunities that we could grasp if we wish to? Just to say a little bit about our business and community engagement. When we first moved into this area, there were so many different phrases that describe what went on. Knowledge exchange, knowledge transfer, community engagement, employer engagement, workforce development, all this sort of thing is encompassed in that. And we felt that seeing as there were so many words out there, we had to create our own words to describe it, just to confuse it even further. This comes under our term of business and community engagement. This is JISC supporting institutions to work with the community that's out there. And these are some of the areas that we're trying to help on. I won't say very much because Saeed's going to talk a little bit about this area next. But I will say that we have funded a small team in one of our services called JISC Infonet at Newcastle, in Northumbria. And Rob Allen at the back, who asked me not to mention him, but I think he's a very important person for you all to talk to, heads up that team. He's here today, so he'll be interested in hearing your views as well as what's going on. So that's enough about the JISC. Now, what is it that the JISC wants out of today? Well, I think I've already mentioned we want your priorities. We want your ideas and opportunities. I think that the first little bullet point there is very important. We're moving from a situation where 5 years ago, making sure that students could use the web, could use word processors, could use spreadsheets and so on, was really important. That's become part of the fabric now. We know that young people can use that. There was a report out this week from the university in the Midlands saying that one of the differentiators for students will be how well they can actually identify information in the internet, not just simply go to Google, pick the first thing that comes out there and do it. It's their discernment, their information skills are going to be a differentiator for the future. I think today we're looking at something beyond even that. We're looking at a period when IT is going to change what businesses do, the sort of things that businesses are there for. ICT is going to enable new types of business, and we heard from Richard about all the exciting things that are happening over in the Titanic area, and that will be great. So we're talking about ICTs to change business, and we're talking about ICTs to change the way business actually operates. So I think that there are opportunities out there where we're not just simply moving forward gradually bit by bit. We're looking at a dislocation where ICT is really going to change what we do and how we do it. And I think this is what I'm particularly interested in hearing about today. So we're talking about equipping students with more than basic IT skills. We're talking about colleges working in partnership with business to understand what business needs from those students and how they're going to employ those students and the opportunities they're going to create for their businesses in taking their business forward. I think this is a really important thing, and I think colleges have a huge opportunity here themselves. They have an infrastructure which is superior to anything that businesses have themselves. How can you utilize that to help the businesses understand what ICT can do for them? How can you train those students to make sure that what they're coming out with, the skills and so on that they have are the things that business actually wants. This is in line with JISC's innovation activities. This is about trying things with colleges, funding colleges to do things, and we're very conscious that we need to support Northern Ireland. As the Minister says, we get funding from Northern Ireland, and we need to put some of that funding back in here and to support what Northern Ireland is trying to do in its businesses. And I think, of course, as we know from last Thursday, we're operating in a different climate from what we've been operating in over the last 10 years. So I think we're looking at doing more with less. So I think there's one word that I'd like to see coming out from here today for the JISC. It's inspiration. What is it you want us to do to help you? And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.